Old business, life safety items, capital improvements.
So this is the bid for the air handler equipment. Remember, we put this in about 18 months ago in the life safety amendment that we submitted to the state. At that time, we had our architect and engineer had a project cost of about $600,000 in there. As you can see, it came in at $785,000. Now, in that 18 months, between the cost of steel, some labor cost, as well as the cost of the units. Remember, when we submit those amendments, we're at the mercy of the state, and so you have to submit a reasonable amount of like replacing like with like, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we complete the project. So the new design is actually going from one giant unit to two smaller units, and so that the pool will be split in half and have a unit working for each of the halves of the pool. This way, in the event if should you have mechanical failure of one of the units, you still have some airflow being provided by the second unit until the other unit can be repaired. We do have to replace a lot of duct work, and there will be a crane involved to get the old unit off and then to put the new units on. So we do have money within the life safety dollars that we received from the bonds to cover the difference here. Like I said earlier in the meeting, Joel and Scott have done a nice job keeping the other projects under budget. So the other recommendation is to approve the base bid, and I will also tell the board it will be closer to 800 because I am recommending alternate number 2 if you look at page 86. Alternate number 1, which would be a 25, if you could see the numbers in bold, Mechanical Concept of Illinois, their base bid is $785. If you want to go with a Daktronics unit, not Daktronics, Ceresco, Daktronics is scoreboard. Ceresco unit, you could take $25,000 off. However, that's what we currently have, Ceresco, and we've had a lot of service issues over the last, my 8 years for sure. So we thought it would be better to stick with the units, the other 2 units that are being supplied, not doing the deduct. And then, which is a Dectron unit. And then the $14,000 add-on would be to repaint the ceiling and all the ductwork to match existing wall paint. And so basically, the biggest piece of that pool next to the actual pool with the water is the dehumidification system. And so that ductwork does go throughout the pool area and is visible to everybody using the pool, including spectators and visitors. So the Facilities Advisory Council and I believe it'd be a good idea to give it a facelift and make sure all the paint matches and to paint it accordingly. Are there any questions?
So these contractors, they all bid on the same equipment?
They all bid on the same equipment.
So,
and they all attended a pre-bid meeting. And they all had to meet the bid specs and the insurance and bond requirements.
all right. What kind of warranties come with those?
Assurance bonds. The units, I think, are only either 12 or 24 months on the units.
Yeah, one or the other. Not 100% sure. 12 or 24, that's correct.
On the work, we have assurance bonds on the contractors. Now, we went through this, and Wes can talk about this a little bit too when we met with the engineer. The life of those units, it's almost kind of like your water heater in your basement. You know, I don't know if anybody's ever had to replace a water heater, but pretty much when those things say 10-year warranty, usually within a year of that 10-year warranty, you'll start seeing the drip out of the bottom of the water tank. Very similar with these, as the engineer said at the facilities meeting, this is the only air handler unit the district has that runs 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
It never shuts down. So dividing that work over 2 units is a better plan. You know, and while we're using a different kind of flow instead of gas.
And we're reversing the flow, which is going to help the airflow.
Right.
And, you know, they're saying that with 2 of them, you'll go less. Like the one now it's just overworking itself, right? Because it's a little smaller than it's supposed to be. and then it's working 24/7. So it's just, so it took its lifespan and cut it in half. So. it's
So
kinda
if we went
that's
with
why
a-
we went with two of them.
If we went with a single one, would the price be lower? Because you wouldn't have as much ductwork, or am I mistaken?
That is, you would be lower.
It would
but-
be lower because you're buying one bigger unit instead of two smaller units.
Right, the
And you
issue,
wouldn't have to
in that theory,
reduct
you'd have
either, right?
Yeah, you could probably if you didn't change the ductwork, but it's not rated, it's not gonna
the
work.
problem is there's not a unit that's supposed to be big enough for that
Right.
space. Because
Yeah.
when they removed originally when that space was designed, they
It's supposed
removed
to be
the
less.
drop ceiling
Right.
to save money, and they used that in other parts of the addition. But what you didn't account for is the amount of cubic footage now that you have to dehumidify.
Dehumidified.
Okay.
And it's been nothing but problems for 8 years. My kids have swam at Oak Park because of that. My, kids have been sick because of it. It's worth doing it right, I think.
And the other question, didn't we have to repaint? And didn't we just paint something in there like 3 years ago when we redid the ductwork? And
We did not repaint, they painted that
I
ductwork.
thought we had to paint the
We did not expend any.
metal,
Right, we did not expend.
steel girders
We did
because they were
not.
rusting.
We did not expend any money on that project. White and Company, who fixed the spectator seating and installed additional return vents, painted those ducts, and anything within the areas, they touched them up, but they did not complete the entire ceiling because we did not drain the pool. The pool will be drained and scaffolded so that the entire ceiling can be repainted.
So who's going to oversee this so that we don't have the same issue we had last time?
So we are GCing, this is a general contractor, and then between Joel and the engineer and the architect.
Okay.
The three of them will do the weekly walkthroughs.
So we're not going to get where the bend even misses the hole there, the connection? I mean,
Correct. Well, that's the other reason of why you want to go with two smaller units so that you can have, because they helicoptered the other unit on when they dropped that over the hole. And that's why I think the hole was off by a few feet. 2
Right.
feet we missed. So we should be in a good spot.
So is everything internal, or is it going to be external?
The only thing that's external are the 2 units on the roof, but I believe we're using our boilers instead of using a gas line on the roof. We're using our current boilers because we have 4 boilers. On a coldest day of the year, we only use 3, so we have more than enough capacity in our current boilers, so that saves some money as well. And not having a roof-fired unit.
So we're gonna replace, we're gonna have to patch the current opening? And then
Yes.
Yes.
Make 2 new openings, because I
Yes.
would imagine they're gonna be in different places.
Yes.
In the place, right?
Be here,
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And we had involved, because there's parts of the roof, they're still under warranty, so we involved the warranty company. The
So are
other-
they gonna be offset on both ends of so that,
No, they're kind of set right in the middle, offset in the middle, so one will do, if you imagine they're like this side, this side.
We also we had Nicor come out and ComEd come out, and we applied for all rebates to see, because there should be some energy savings from going with these high-efficiency units and using our own boilers instead of having the gas on the roof. So we had both come out and see if there's any additional rebates we qualify for.
okay. So the placement was, I understand when both are running, it makes sense to do that. But that isn't very effective if one of them goes
Well, if
down,
one
then, right?
goes out, you're gonna have to get the other one fixed, for sure.
Right, because if you're blowing
But-
one way, you're only gonna have half the
Right.
side, as
Right, you're not
opposed to
gonna-
doing an offset, right, where you can,
Yeah, but right now, if it goes down, you're kind of out of business.
You have nothing.
I
So
understand.
this one, you limp along, basically.
But it's directing it towards one side only, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
it-
that they have them where they can connect them and they could do the whole thing.
Well, I'm not saying, I
Yeah,
just, that's,
I mean, it wouldn't work effectively that way, but it would do one side and that would carry you through until the mechanic came out and fixed it, right?
all right.
So we
Stop
need
practice.
we need a motion.
I still have a question. Did we put another unit in the spectator area before?
So what was determined with all the work that I did with the contractors and architects and our current engineer was that even with the standalone unit, there was not enough airflow for that spectator area. So White and Company, 2010, the engineers that did the 2006 through 9 project, to avoid any issues, provided a supplemental unit just over the spectator area.
So we're going to get rid of that.
That's staying. This is strictly to help with over the pool. So now, between those two and the supplemental, we should be,
Yeah, the supplemental.
we should be
runs
much
off
better,
of
Okay.
much
so-
improved.
And how's the
Way-
supplemental holding
The
out?
way I understood, supplemental runs off the gym, right?
Correct. We have no issues with the supplement.
It's doing fine.
Right.
Okay.
So was that, just one more clarification, so are these two rated with the supplemental?
The supplemental,
Or is it, can these survive without the supplemental?
these two can survive without the
And they
supplement.
can handle all the
survive
air?
without the supplemental.
Well, okay.
We were doing just, it's recommended that you do 4 air changes an hour,
Yeah.
and we were just meeting
Yeah,
4
I
air changes.
understand, we weren't,
Now
it
we're
wasn't
going,
very healthy.
Now we're going to 6 or 7 air changes an hour. So we'll be more than enough.
So is one of the units blowing and the other one's pulling?
No, they're both blowing
No,
and
both blowing. We're gonna take it where, how does it go now? It comes down on the backside and goes towards the stands. It's coming, we're reusing the ductwork that is the intake below the stands. It's pushing it across the pool, up the back wall, and then the intake will be kind of up on the wall.
Basically reversing the flow of
Yeah.
what the current is.
But we're
We're
using
using
all
all
that,
that
what is
stuff
now
in
the intake is we're blowing. So, and that's actually how it should work, because it's gonna come, instead of, like, right now, it's 2 going across the whole pool, now it's like 10 or something.
Right.
Across. It's an even flow, and it's closer to the water. It's still gonna be warm in there. I mean, it's still 82-degree water.
Okay?
All right,
Can't swim fast if they're sweating.
we got somebody to read the,
Sure.
Somebody
Resolved
wanna
that the Board of Education Township High School, District 208, Cook County, Illinois, hereby approves Mechanical Concepts, Inc. of Illinois with a base bid price of $785,000 for the pool air handler replacement as presented in the December 11th, 2018 Board Agenda Packet.
Second.
any other comments, questions? No? Okay, go for the vote. Here.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Sierra?
Yes.
Mr. Smithing?
Yes.
Ms. Towner?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
And Mr. Ritchie.
Yes. All right,